Hi! Good evening, campers. My name is Hannah and I'm from Theatre Tots, and I'm here to tell you a story, a bedtime story. I wonder what story we'll hear tonight. Here's the magic box. We need to use the magic words, and hopefully inside here will be the story we want to tell today. So, the magic words are slithering snake. Can you do that? Slithering snake. Brilliant. Let's try it on the count of 3 and hopefully the magic box will open. 1, 2, 3. Slithering snake. Tonight's story is The Not So Scary Cactus. Colin was a cactus plant. Cactus plants have lots of spikes, which can make them quite scary. But ever since he was small, Colin had been a not so scary cactus because he didn't have a single spike. Can you make your hands spiky? Colin's cactus family lived in the Wild West Desert. They had found Colin when he was a baby and looked after him. The cacti's job was to guard the gold mine in the middle of the Wild West Desert. Every time they saw a cowboy or cowgirl trying to steal their gold, they had to stand up straight, stick out their spikes, and growl. Can you stand up straight, stick out your spikes, and growl? Now, cactus hop everywhere. Are you good at hopping? One sunny day, Chris, the daddy cactus, said to his son, "Now, Colin, it is your turn to scare those cowboys and cowgirls in front of the gold mine." Colin was so excited. He stood up in front of the gold mine with the rest of his family. Then they heard a sound. Yee-haw! They saw the cowboys and cowgirls riding towards them on their horses with their big hats. Can you ride on your horse? The cowboys and cowgirls galloped closer, looking really fierce. But as they got to Colin, they stopped. Colin felt very nervous, but he stood up tall, pretended to stick out his spikes, and shouted, "Eek!" Can you shout eek? Eek! They burst out laughing. Suddenly, Chris, the daddy cactus, stood up tall, stuck out his spikes, and growled. The cowboys and girls saw Chris and screamed, "Ah!" galloping away on their horse. Chris turned to Colin. "They laughed at you, son, because you got no spikes. You need to go into that there desert and find your spikes. Then you'll know who you really are." Poor Colin felt very sad. He hopped off into the desert. He hopped and 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 he hopped until the moon shone in the sky. Then he laid down next to a rock and began to dream. Colin slept soundly until he heard a sound. could it be? Yes, it was a snake. It was a long, green snake. My, oh my, said the snake. What have we here? You can't sleep here or you'll get eaten. Colin jumped up frightened. Who are you? He said. I am Simon the snake, just like you, my friend. Colin was confused. I'm not a snake. I'm a cactus. I live with my cactus family and I'm out here to find my spikes so I can be scary as them. Simon started to laugh. You ain't no cactus, my friend. You're 100% snake. Us snakes don't have no spikes, or we wouldn't be able to slither. Simon took Colin over to a watering hole. They looked at his reflection, and sure enough, they looked exactly the same. No wonder you've been having problems, my friend, said Simon. You need to get back there to be yourself. Colin was so excited. He slithered all the way back to his cactus family. He explained to them that he didn't find his spikes, but he found something even better. He found out who he really was. All the cacti and Colin lined up and they waited. Then they heard a cry. Yee-haw! Colin felt a little nervous. He stood up on his tail, took a deep breath and let out a long sss. The cowboys and cowgirls stopped. They looked at the Colin and they looked at each other and they galloped away. Can you gallop on your horse? Colin, the not-so-scary cactus, was now Colin, the very scary snake. And Colin and his cactus family lived a very peaceful life. They spent their days eating, sleeping, and making up songs to sing to each other. Their favourite song went like this. Colin the cactus is not so scary, as gentle and timid as the tooth fairy. He has no grub, he's lost his spikes. To find them he went off for a hike, singing yee-haw, 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 singing yee-haw, 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 singing yee-haw, 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 yee-haw. To find them he went off for a hike. The end.